BJP may not be a party that I vote for. Most Bengalis don't vote for the BJP, and I'm not an exception to that.
Chandan Mitra is an exception.
Chandan Mitra is an exception, yeah. Most Bengalis don't want to take away my Bharat Ratna either. But, 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 uh, but as far as Modi is concerned, I made a very simple point that a prime minister of a country which is secular and democratic has to be someone who does not generate fear, justified or unjustified fear on the part of large proportion of the population who happen to be minorities. And that makes him not so fit to be prime minister. My Bharat Ratna, as a matter of fact, was given by Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Did I have difficulty accepting it from him? No. I would say, have I had long, good conversations with Advani, with Jaswant Sinha and Jaswant Singh? Yes. Have I benefited from the discussion? Yes. I may actually benefit from having discussion with Narendra Modi as well. And indeed, there are interesting things in Modi's thinking which I discuss. But I have not had the privilege. I was making a very simple point of a prime minister being acceptable, not being a majority prime minister, but being an Indian prime minister. I happen to be proud of my nation as an Indian citizen. I pay a certain price for it, stand in long queues in entry points in every country, because they're all persuaded I want to live there, even though I have no desire to go anywhere other than where I happen to have, which is a good combination of teaching at Harvard, having a base in England, and having a base in India, to which I come 6 times a year. Now, given that, I mean, I have a right as an Indian citizen to want what kind of a country I want. I want a country in which a large proportion of the population is not scared, rightly or wrongly, about the nature of the leadership. That's all the point I made. Now you have asked me the question about the Modi model. So let me say that. And I did say some of that in answer to another question like yours, that there are things to learn about physical infrastructure in particular, which is very important for business. And indeed, we have argued throughout the book that India has neglected physical as well as social infrastructure. Now, the Modi has a lot of lessons to offer there. Now, on the other hand, the respect in which Gujarat was behind was particularly on the social side. Lower educational base, lower life expectancy, greater gender inequality, a busted healthcare system. And in these respects, it hasn't worked so well. What has been rather efficient in business has not been so efficient in giving exactly that thing on which we are trying to concentrate in India, namely, well, I'm recommending we do, namely to have the educated, healthy labor force on exactly Smithian reasons. So on Smithian reasons, would I regard Modi's model to be a great success? No, not in that respect. Is there something to learn from it? Definitely. I don't know why the hype is so much anyway, because, Gujarat growth rate is 8.2, and Maharashtra's is 8.1. I'm surprised that Maharashtrians don't raise their heads and grumble about that. They're after all the neighboring country, and was in my living memory, and you're all too young to remember it, they even competed for Bombay. But I think there's a serious issue there, and I wish absolutely great success to Gujarat's rate of development, expansion. It has been a very important part of the country, and I'm not one of those who take the view that a minority problem has been a big problem for Gujarat always. We have to bear in mind that Indonesia got its Islam not from Arabia, it got it from Gujarati Muslim traders who went there. So actually it had a role of spreading Islam across the world too. It's a lesson that may have been forgotten. So I think my point isn't about Gujarat, my point isn't about BJP, whether or not I vote for it, and that's a different issue. And my point was about Modi and minorities, and my point was about that physical structure development, infrastructure development doesn't cure the other problem, which is a bigger deficiency in Gujarat, namely the social side.